we're back. It's Rimworld. So I'm doing the overlay thing again. I think the last episode, I was running it a little bit too fast. I tried to slow it down a little bit for this one. I thought it was kind of hard to tell what was going on with the gameplay. But I do kind of like this. I like both ways. There's pros and cons of both things. So we have a siege here. This siege came out, and last time I was playing on this colony, I thought I checked the off problem map causer, the psychic suppression that's going on right now. I thought that was out of range so that my people weren't getting suppressed, but it turns out everybody in the colony except for Miss Chips and Fortune Favors has been working at 50% capacity for as long as we've been on this map, which has been quite a while. So I run up here and I shoot at them a little bit, and I'm trying to decide if I think... Basically at this point I figure out, well, if I do break them, they're just going to run over and kill me because I can't run away. So I decide the best course of action, our ship is ready to fly. We get a random mad iguana that is actually faster than us, so we have to take that out. And they're starting to shell us, so we need to get out of there. And yeah, I fiddle around. Mcduff goes to like the stupidest spot, so I have to cancel it. I check, I'm like, why is he not in the flight? Why is he not in the flight zone? No, he decided to cram himself in the corner so he'd get left behind. Then we take the worst hit right there. You can see all of everything in our research room is on fire. Fortune Favor is taking damage. I say, get out of there. I wanted to see... I was kind of hoping the fire would not move with me. Turns out it does. So some good testing. I guess it shouldn't surprise me. Like, it makes sense that it keeps the state of whatever your room was in. Like, anything that's on the ship is going to go with the ship, including fire. So we're having a good time. Everybody's super hot. I try to get Miss Chips to tear down the thing, but we have grav nausea. There's like negative effects that can happen, and for whatever reason nobody on my ship is any good at piloting, so we get a negative effect pretty much every time we land. The nausea one's not so bad, but we got we sort of got the fire put out. People have some burns, but we're gonna make it through. It's no problem. So a couple of the other things that I'm doing is I've kind of taken some little notes, so when we're in kind of a rebuilding phase like this, I'll have something to talk about instead of just rambling about whatever I'm building. So here you can see I'm putting substructure so that our walls will actually fly with us. So that's pretty cool. But the one thing I wanted to bring up is I completely forgot when I started this. I said I was going to have a baseline restriction of 3, and I immediately took 5 baseliners because I totally forgot about that. We are gonna try to do that from now on, but it's going to be 5 baseliners instead of 3, and I think that's like right in the amount of people I like to play with until I feel like I can really protect myself with a lot of different methods of dealing with different problems. So we got a flamingo manhunter pack. This was cool just to see flamingos for the first time, and they ate some of our traps outside, but that's why we put the traps inside. It's better to have them inside anyway. And other than that, we're just kind of expanding our living area. The manhunter packs are super easy to deal with, ship especially, because I have my crops all protected by my ship already, so there's not really any danger here. As far as research that's going on, we're getting some... I'm trying to get up to where we can get longer ranged weapons right now. The weapons we have pretty much suck, so... I mean, they're fine, but... with things like that siege, if we had a few more long-ranged weapons, like bolt actions, would have been less scary. Still, I think I would have had to do what I did because of the psychic suppression. Like, that was just... Oh yeah, we got some ducks. I'm releasing the ducks, killing the ducks. I don't want to have a bunch of ducks. The animal bestiary will come later. I can't afford it this early. I don't have the defenses required to take on animal wealth right now, so we're just kind of mining out the map, getting some steel, getting some components. That's probably the best thing so far about the grav ship, has just been like, you basically have infinite steel because you just keep flying around. So it's been pretty good. Get some artwork going. I decided I would like my my barracks to be much nicer, and much nicer it was because Julio. Oh yeah, that quest had a starjack, and I was just like looking at what a starjack is. That's like a new xenotype. I don't know. I really wanted to try to get him, but I pretty much would have to sacrifice a colonist, I think, to have beaten the raid that was gonna happen to get him, and then it wasn't even a particularly good pawn, so I decided against it. So Julio went above and beyond and made us a legendary artwork, which was unexpected but welcome. It made my barracks go from like 60 beauty to 140 beauty, so it's actually an insane mood buff. You can see everybody's much happier now that they have Julio's artwork to stare at. It just makes everything better. There's also this annoying thing that happens where the ship keeps trying to build over the little area, like the circle I have. It's small enough that it thinks it's a room. And since we keep moving around, like, I have to keep remarking it as unroofed area. So that's kind of annoying. I wish there was just a way to turn off the game trying to build roofs automatically. Because I usually like to specify if I want a roof over something or not. Just in general, like, oftentimes I don't want it to build a roof in an area, and it tries to anyway. I can see where if you're a newer player, though, it would make sense. So I still have no idea what controls who's a good pilot and who's not, but for whatever reason, Miss Chips is a good pilot, and Julio is a good pilot. Everybody else is terrible. And Miss Chips and Julio are only, like, okay. It's not like they're particularly good, but we fly to a new area here. We're getting real close to kind of my goal for this episode, which was to get to the gravcore, see what was going on. I was afraid that it would be really hard, so I didn't just want to fly into it. That's why I parked next to it instead of just landing at the site. And you can see, of course, as I get my caravan ready to go, everybody's ready to leave. I get attacked by a bunch of armadillos, so I can't leave. I have to cancel my caravan, and I have to set up some crops, do some stuff. I hauled those chunks because I was afraid they would open the door and let armadillos in, and then I'd get mauled. These are armadillos, by the way, another new animal that seems to attack me, which is nice. Sanguiphage attack quest came in here. I figured they could fight the armadillos. I was surprised they beat the armadillos, honestly. I thought armadillos would be better than that, but I go around and pick them off one by one, and this isn't too interesting, but of note, they give us an assault rifle, heavy SMG, and a pump shotgun. So we we did, or not a pump shotgun, a chain shotgun. We had a pump shotgun. So quite a big munitions upgrade there. Was pretty happy with that. And also, yeah, we got a flak vest too, which was really nice. I beat on the Sanguiphage a little bit because I don't want him to attack me, and leave him there and bury his buds. And yeah, and then, I do a bunch of the ideology stuff here just to get it on cooldown, keep trying to convert Julio. He's just... So both Julio and Fortune Favors, brother and sister, they both believe in nonsense. They don't think being in ships are cool. They believe in, like, whatever. I think it's, like, Empire stuff. I haven't looked too closely, honestly. They don't believe the same thing, though. But they both do not want to change their mind on what they believe. We leave Miss Chips at home to hang out at the ship because she can't fight anyway, but she's there in case she needs to open the door and let people go in. So this is my first seeing the gravcore and like what this even is. So this is pretty cool. I also didn't realize that I could have picked up another gravcore by I think the starting platform in this scenario has a gravcore on it, and I could have just walked over and like picked it up or whatever. But I didn't do that, so I guess we'll get these harder to get ones. Everybody's terrible at hitting anything. I think we finally hit the Scorcher. I was a little worried here that I was gonna get scorched, but that went okay. And I feel like Legionaries got nerfed or something because they are terrible shots. I didn't feel like they were always terrible shots. So you could hack this. I didn't have, this is me checking, can I hack it? No, nobody's good enough to hack it. Nobody's researched enough. So I do the next best thing, which is to shoot it. Shoot it down, and that triggers an attack. I'm like, oh, one thing. Hopefully a Scyther. Let it be a Scyther. Nope, it was not a Scyther. It was that. I throw a turret pack, which doesn't get any aggro at all, and Julio just gets beamed like crazy. We take it out, but after surveying what's around, I decide I'm not gonna... Well, there were two things I wanted to test here. So the first one is, I knew I wasn't going to handle it that time around. So I wanted to see if I left the map, does it stay? And like I've defeated one of the nodes, or is it an event tile where like it disappears? The answer is it's an event tile and it disappears. But I wanted to check that. So next time I know I have to leave at least one person on the map, just like, I don't know, make a little hut and they can hang out while everybody else repairs up. I think next time I would not approach that without a EMP. Like if I had an EMP, that would have been a very doable battle. Like we still would have taken some damage. Maybe somebody would have lost an arm or something or died, but we would have succeeded, I'm pretty sure, if we had an EMP grenade there. So we took off again. We're heading... another one spawned right after I left that one. It's a mech thing, but it's to the south. So that's where we're headed to. And we're going to be trying to get that EMP grenade going. Imp attack. First imp attack that happens. I'm going to let the traps handle this. I was a little concerned that I wouldn't have enough traps. But I forget how strong traps are against imps. Because they don't wear any helmets, so they just kind of get deleted. They only used half my traps, which I was pleased about because I can just replenish my steel. And using steel traps is, yeah, they're just like way better than wooden traps. So we get them buried up, and that's about it for the episode. It's about where we're at, about what we're doing. Hope you enjoyed it.